Jeff, we know U.S. President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu are on the same page, but Iran and four other world powers are still really trying to figure out here if the nuclear deal can work without Washington. Let's discuss this with Ian Black. He's a visiting senior fellow of the Middle East Center at the London School of Economics and author of Enemies and Neighbors, Arabs and Jews in Palestine and Israel. Ian, let me begin with the news coming out of Iran that Jeff Moody also reported that it has notified the IAEA it's making preparations to increase its uranium enrichment if this nuclear agreement completely falls apart. How significant is this, and can this agreement survive without the United States?
Well, I think that what's been announced by the Iranians today is still within the framework of the 2015 international agreement to which the United States was a party. This is a very technical issue, but I think that what this is a signal from Tehran to the European and the other signatories to the deal that they are responding to the American move, but still not themselves tearing up the deal. The Iranian position since the start, since President Trump made his dramatic decision on May the 8th, was that they would be committed to it. But indeed, the question remains a very, very important question as to whether the agreement can in fact survive when European companies, in theory, will face sanctions from the United States if they continue doing business with Iran. So this is about high politics and diplomacy and an international agreement, but it's also about the commercial responses of companies which will give preference to their larger markets, in this case, the United States over Iran.
UK, France, and Germany, also parties to this agreement, have said they're going to continue to hold their side of the agreement to this nuclear deal. Is that going to change? Certainly it didn't change with Netanyahu's trip to Germany, with Angela Merkel saying they're committed here.
You know, I think it's important to understand that what the Israeli Prime Minister is doing, he's visiting each of the three European signatories to the deal. Germany, as you said, France today, and Britain here in London tomorrow. Those are the EU3 that were involved in this negotiation from the start. Their position has been that they continue to be committed to it, but the problem is that when President Trump announced his decision, he therefore rejected what seemed to be some kind of compromise proposal which would allow the deal to survive with the Americans involved. We don't know at this stage whether there's any discussion going on of plans to address Iran's ballistic missile program and its regional influence. Those are the two issues that the Israelis and the Saudis as well in the region are very concerned about. We don't know, but it's not looking good at this stage.
With Pompeo and John Bolton at this White House clearly driving the foreign policy decisions, do you believe, or are you hearing anything, Ian, if the United States is actually perhaps closer to a military confrontation with Iran?
Well, the whole problem with understanding the American position is that there doesn't appear to be a plan B. Plan A was the agreement that President Obama oversaw in 2015 with the agreement of the Europeans and the Russians and the Chinese. President Trump and John Bolton and Pompeo have sort of hinted that maybe the outcome of this will be economic pressure on Iran and some kind of regime change. But that's ignoring the fact that his decision, the American decision, appears to have played into the hands of the hardliners in Iran who were opposed to the deal in the first place. So there's no coherent scenario currently on display to work out what happens next. And that's why everybody is really quite flustered and confused about where things stand at the moment.
Flustered and confused indeed. Our thanks to Ian Black. Thank you so much.